And it is 6:32 p.m. on Monday, December 5th. I'm going to call this meeting into order. Let's do roll call attendance. Mayor Allen, I am here. Deputy Mayor Ryan.
Here.
Trustee Alter.
Yep.
Trustee Decker.
Here.
Trustee Shuttig.
Here.
Trustee Walreed.
Here.
Absent is Trustee O'Malley this evening, and also present Village Attorney Gilchrist and Attorney John Tingley. Welcome. So the first item up for business is the resolution authorizing execution of settlement agreement with village employee. Whereas Nicholas Swanson is employed by the Village of Hoosick Falls as a police officer, Officer Swanson. And whereas the United Public Service Employees Union, UPSEU, is an employee organization recognized by the Village of Hoosick Falls as an exclusive bargaining representative of police officers employed by the village, including Officer Swanson. And whereas UPSEU, on behalf of Officer Swanson, filed a grievance against the Village of Hoosick Falls. And whereas the Village of Hoosick Falls has denied the grievance. And whereas such grievance was scheduled to be heard at an arbitration hearing to commence on December 8th, 2022. And whereas the Board of Trustees of the Village of Hoosick Falls has given due consideration to the costs, benefits, risks, and opportunities associated with both continuing to engage in and defend the grievance, and with resolving the grievance on the terms set forth in the proposed agreement by and between UPSEU, Officer Swanson, and the village in the form annexed hereto as Exhibit A. And whereas rather than continuing to engage in the expensive, time-consuming, and uncertain process of defending the grievance, the Board of Trustees of the Village of Hoosick Falls finds and determines that it is in the best interest of the Village of Hoosick Falls to resolve the grievance based on the terms and conditions set forth in the proposed agreement annexed hereto as Exhibit A. And whereas the Board of Trustees of the Village of Hoosick Falls seeks to approve the agreement annexed hereto as Exhibit A, now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Trustees of the Village of Hoosick Falls in special session, duly convened as follows. 1. The Board of Trustees of the Village of Hoosick Falls hereby approves the agreement by and between UPSEU, Officer Swanson, and the Village of Hoosick Falls in the form and content as set forth in Exhibit A attached to this resolution, and further hereby authorizes the Mayor to execute such agreement on behalf of the Village of Hoosick Falls. I need someone to offer this resolution.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Just writing this down. Okay. 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 Andy, should I summarize for the record? This resolution will suffice. Is there any discussion to be had on this? All right. Hearing none. Looking for a roll call vote. Deputy Mayor Ryan.
Yes.
Trustee Alter.
Yes.
Trustee Decker.
Yay.
Trustee O'Malley is absent. Trustee Shuttig.
Recusal, please.
Recused. Recusal. Okay. Trustee Walreed.
Yes.
And Mayor Allen is also a yes. So the resolution passes unanimously, 5-0, 1 recusal. Bear with me to update my documents here. Okay. All right. Thank you. The second item we have up for discussion is a resolution authorizing settlement of litigation. I'm going to read the whole thing if that's all right with you guys. You think?
The mayor presides over the board. I would suggest you do that if you want to.
Any issues beside the fact that it's going to be long? All right. Buckle up. Whereas Fitzgerald Morris Baker Firth, herein I will refer them as FMBF, as plaintiff commenced litigation on May 11th, 2018, against the mayor and board of trustees of the Village of Hoosick Falls and the Village of Hoosick Falls, collectively the village, as defendants bearing Rensselaer County Index Number 2018-259640, the litigation. And whereas in the litigation, FMBF asserted claims against the village seeking to recover $620,835.34 from the village, plus 9% interest per year based on FMBF's claims claimed that it had provided legal services, incurred expenses, and retained an expert on the village's behalf between in or about November 2015 and April 2017 in connection with the contamination of the village's municipal water supply by perfluorooctanoic acid and related chemicals, collectively PFOA. And whereas during the course of the litigation, the village vigorously defended the litigation, and whereas such defense included seeking dismissal of a majority of FMBF's claims based on the passage of time and lack of standing, which dismissal was initially granted by Rensselaer County Supreme Court, but which dismissal was later reversed by the Appellate Division, 3rd Department on appeal by FMBF, the appeal. And whereas such defense by the village further included engaging in motion practice in opposition to efforts by FMBF to amend its pleading in the litigation. And whereas such defense by the village further included engaging in substantial discovery and production and receipt of voluminous materials relating to the services allegedly provided by FMBF and its retained expert Bean Communications Incorporated. And whereas prior to the commencement of litigation and during the course of the appeal, the village engaged in good faith attempts to solve the litigation on terms that were fair and equitable to the village, but such attempts were unsuccessful. And whereas through the course of the litigation, the principal amount of FMBF's claim against the village was reduced from $620,835.34 to $561,110.26, but with FMBF continuing to seek 9% interest per year pursuant to provisions of New York law. And whereas notwithstanding the reduction in FMBF's claim through the course of the litigation, and given the accrual of interest on this claim under New York law, the village, as of the date of this resolution, in the absence of an agreed upon settlement, could be subject to risk in the approximate amount of $825,360, with 9% interest continuing to accrue until resolution of the litigation, either through trial or settlement. And whereas during the course of engaging in voluminous, time-consuming, and expensive discovery, during which FMBF asserts that interest on FBF's claims continue to accrue, the village and FMBF agreed to consider attempting to resolve litigation through mediation with an independent third-party mediator that formerly served as the New York State Supreme Court Justice. And whereas the village and FMBF participated in the mediation on October 24th, 2022, and whereas, as a result of such mediation, the village and FMBF tentatively reached an agreement in principle on a potential resolution of the litigation, by which the village would pay to FMBF and FMBF would accept the total sum of $450,000 in full and final satisfaction of all claims that FMBF and or Being Communication had, has, or otherwise may have against the village. And whereas, although the FMBF engagement letter that serves as a basis of FMBF's claims against the village seeks to recover based on hourly rates of $350 per hour for partners and $225 per hour for associate attorneys, with 9% interest per year accruing thereon from April 2017 until the litigation was resolved through trial and otherwise. The currently proposed settlement of the litigation would result in the village paying FMBF an amount significantly less than the rates asserted by FMBF, would discontinue the accrual of 9% interest on FMBF's claim immediately, and would further provide appropriate time for the village to secure necessary funding for such settlement through municipal financing. And whereas the Board of Trustees of the Village of Hoosick Falls has given due consideration to the costs, benefits, risks, and opportunities associated with both continuing to engage in and defend the litigation, and with resolving the litigation on the terms set forth in the proposed so ordered stipulation of settlement annexed hereto as Exhibit A, and whereas rather than continuing to engage in the expensive, time-consuming, and uncertain process of litigation, all while FMBF continues to seek interest on its principal claim, the Board of Trustees of the Village of Hoosick Falls finds and determines that it is in the best interest of the Village of Hoosick Falls to resolve this litigation based on the terms set forth in the proposed so ordered stipulation of settlement annexed hereto as Exhibit A. And whereas the Board of Trustees of the Village of Hoosick Falls seeks to approve the proposed so ordered stipulation of settlement annexed hereto as Exhibit A. Now therefore be it resolved by the Village Board of Trustees of the Village of Hoosick Falls in regular session duly convened as follows.
Rob, we'll just note that we'll amend that to special session.
Oh, sorry, yeah, special session.
Just note.
Thank you, Indy. And special session duly convened as follows. 1. The Board of Trustees of the Village of Hoosick Falls hereby approves the proposed so ordered stipulation of settlement in the form and content as set forth in Exhibit A attached to this resolution, and further hereby authorizes the mayor and or his designee to execute such so ordered stipulation of settlement on behalf of the Village of Hoosick Falls. Need someone to offer the resolution.
I'll offer it.
Thank you, and I need a second.
I'll second.
Thank you. Trustee Decker and Trustee Shetty. Discussion. John, Andy, is there anything else you want to mention, opine, state?
I mean, we've discussed this at length with the board, in private communications. I won't get into any substance of the strategy, merits, advice, et cetera, that we've been into before, but in our opinion, this is an advisable settlement.
Okay.
And if we could, we'll also note for the record that this does include full releases provided to the village on behalf, or from both FMBF and BN, releasing all claims which those entities had or may have had against the village in this matter.
Okay. Any other discussion? Before we go to roll call vote, it was amazing reliving this whole thing paragraph by paragraph and knowing that every single paragraph was a lot of time and a lot of work. So I know this is coming to an end. Thank you, John and Andy, for your work on this.
Yes.
Thanks a lot. Thank you.
That being said, I'm
I have to agree, while you were reading this and when I looked at it, it's just all those discussions and all of, everything we said, just on these 3 pieces of paper. Amazing, thank you.
Jonathan, thank you for not choking out Stuart Klein too.
I will note, it was predominantly the work of John Tingley, and it was admirable, very professional job.
agreed. Absolutely agreed. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right. Roll call vote as listed here. Trustee Shetting.
Yay.
Trustee O'Malley is absent. Trustee Alter.
Oui?
Trustee Decker.
Yep.
Trustee Walreed.
Yes.
I'm going to be a no on this. Deputy Mayor Ryan.
Yes,
Yeah,
reluctantly, but yes,
that's
Yeah.
all
I
right.
hear that.
you know.
That's okay.
I was wondering if that was a special category.
Well, there's always that
All right.
abstention.
So the resolution has passed 5-1 with 1 absence.
I know I know how you feel, but I really think this is the right thing.
It would end
Well,
up costing us way more.
It
We
does.
ended up a good number.
Yeah.
Are these community candy?
Is there anything else you guys want to bring up to the
We'll make
board?
fudge on the bottom.
Hearing none, I am looking for a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second. Third.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed or abstentions? Carries. We are formally adjourned at 6:45 p.m.
I'll do that.